face now.
We're online. Yeah. Okay. Our intention is to make some videos to tell you our views about stuff. Yeah. From a masculine and a feminine point of view. So this is the first one, and we are just going to bubble along, and maybe you will find something that
you can take out for yourself.
Yeah.
We actually don't know what we're going to tell precisely. We just let stuff happen, and we don't have a plan. We never have a plan. So I think this is what's best in this case.
So we were talking about what the topic should be for our first video, and we were like having the same idea about it, that because for both of us it's very important, or it has been very important, and it still is very important to stand in your own truth. If I speak for myself, I have had to learn this, but what happened like the last year really forced me to go and stand in my own truth. And it's a whole story, so you are about to witness this.
Yeah, we were talking about how are we going to introduce ourselves for those who have never seen us before, and yeah, I think it's just the best idea to just tell our story. And this, by the way, is my dog. She will always be a bit bubbling into it, but just don't care. Because our story is actually the epitome of standing in your truth and just going for what's real for yourself and for your heart. Because we met online. Like, when did we meet? Yes, we did meet online. Me, the girl who always told people I'm never going to meet my man online. I met him online, but not in a dating, on a dating platform or something, because we both were not looking for somebody. At least me, not online, because you, at this point, were still married.
I was still married, and I wasn't looking for anything because, well, I cannot say that I was, well, it's so difficult to put your finger on it in retrospective, because at the time I thought I was still happy, and I felt happy, but there has always been like issues that popped up during my marriage. So I wasn't looking because I felt fine actually in the situation I was in. So I have been married for 12 years and I have 2 children, and I'm from Holland actually. She's not.
No.
So we were in this Facebook group. It was an international, I still think it exists actually. It is an international Facebook group. And yeah.
I just want to tell that with people, with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not only, but it's about spirituality, but in an earthy kind of way, I think, and about meditation and about
feeling your feelings. I think that was the most present topic in this group.
Yeah.
Just going when stuff is coming up, just feel it and be present with it, and don't bypass it or stuff it down or something like that. And that's what I was interested in, because I was a life coach already back then, and that's why it was actually initiated by a guy, and what he told in his videos just resonated with me, and I thought like, oh well, it's summer, I don't have many clients anyway, so let's go into this group. And there he was, commenting in a very active way on stuff, but in a way who just touched me, and I just thought, who is that guy? Who is that? And but I went on his Facebook profile then, and I saw like, he's married. And I wasn't interested anyway because he is not really the type of guy I was looking for.
He was.
He was, sorry, yes. Now he is the epitome of my kind of guy. And yes, I was just very interested in what he wrote, and he seemed to just see people. Because we were people, as he said, all over the world, and he was just seeing people in who they were, and that fascinated me. And his wife, now ex-wife, was in this same group as well. So there was not even one tiny thought of myself of romantic attraction in this way. It was just a soul attraction in some kind of way.
Yeah, and I was in this group not very long actually, and I had summer holidays because I'm a teacher, and I had like 6 or 7 weeks off, so I was very, very active in this group at that point. And I saw Priska. I saw her commenting on stuff, and every time, well, lots of time we were like in the same post and in the same thread, and then we were commenting on each other and on other people, and we were laughing our butts off because
it really was very funny.
It really was very funny,
yeah.
And I really liked her kind of humor, and so I was really drawn to her, and not in a way which Priska already described of that I wanted something with
romantic
her.
Way, yes.
No. Yeah, and I easily connect with people.
He does.
Also with women, actually, and not because I'm this player or flirty guy. Well, I can be flirty, actually. But I like to connect to people. So at one point I thought, well, I'm really interested in this Priska woman. So I think
you befriended
requested
me.
your
yes,
friendship.
You befriended me.
And then we started doing some private messaging to each other. And yeah, I really felt drawn to her, and I really loved how she thought about stuff, and her view on things, and her bubbly personality, and the way she thought, and how her mind worked. Yeah, and I was very and it was a soul connection. And there were like people in this group who wrote lots of stuff about twin souls and stuff, and I never read a lot of things about that. But so in the beginning I thought, well, it must be that, because this connection was very strong, energetically as well.
Yes.
Her being in Switzerland and me being in Holland.
Yeah, I'm Swiss, by the way.
Yeah, Swiss.
But you can hear it in my accent anyways. He always tells me I have a German accent.
Which pisses
pisses me off majorly, actually. But it's okay, it's Swiss.
Swiss, yeah.
So Swiss.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, and then...
And that, just that you know in which time span we're talking. He befriended me in June last year.
2015.
Yes, 2015, right? Now it's 1st of October 2016.
Yes.
And we're sitting both in the Netherlands. So...
It went very fast.
It went very fast.
You can say that.
But now I just moved on too fast because we're still...
That's okay.
In the chatting phase. Because I, as he just told you, we were chatting a lot. But I really just felt like he was my, sorry to say that, but gay friend, because I'm sorry, not because you were gay or acting gay, but more in sense of he's not available anyway. And my second thing next to I'm never going for a man online was I'm never going for a married or in general taken man. It's not working for me, or I thought it wouldn't work for me. And I kept telling my friends, like in real life in Switzerland, I was like, oh my god, I met this guy online, and I wish I had a guy in real life. I wish I had a guy as boss. And I kept telling that, but I was never even thinking about the option it could be boss. because
No.
because I really thought he was happily married. Because they were also posting stuff together, and I really had the impression they had a happy marriage, 2 happy children. So I had no idea.
Sorry that I
That's
butt in,
good.
but it was not only an impression, but because it was happy.
Yes,
It was
true.
happy. It was not fulfilling everything I needed, but it was happy. Yeah. So that's what makes it so. It's not easy to grasp, not even for me at this point. At some point, some people in this group started uh, some sort of spin-off group uh, purely for meditation. So meditating on an internationally level to see what could happen if we connected the energies.
Yes.
So we did. Actually, this was how do you say that?
Initiation.
Initiated by
Yeah.
by my wife then. So we did meditations, and then the first time it was very strange.
It was super strange.
Because I was like meditating, and within 1 minute, Priska was in front of me, and I really could feel her energy, and I could gaze into her eyes, and I could hear her breathing, and it was so strange and also a bit scary actually, because I never have experienced such a thing. And I don't think we talked about it the first time.
No, we didn't, because I experienced exactly the same thing, and I was super flabbergasted because I never expected in any way such a thing. Yes, and I was super scared, not because this happened in sense of energetically, but that I was flooded with a love for him, and a love I've never felt before in that way, and this scared the shit out of me. And I was just like, everybody was then after the meditation just commenting how it was for them and what they saw, and I was like, just yes, I'm super tired, I have to go to sleep, good night, something like that. And I was like, yeah, it was nice, thanks, bye. But I really was so scared, and I cried so hard because I was so touched and I didn't know what was happening. Because I'm also working energetically with stuff, but I never ever met a real person like energetically so close. And this love that I felt all of a sudden scared me very much. So I didn't talk with him about that. Yes, and then at 1 week later, we were meditating again on Sunday evenings. It was, I think, yeah. And the same thing happened. And I tried to push it away. I tried to not let him hear or let him into my energy field, but there he was again. And I think then you posted this picture even on my wall with what you experienced.
Yeah, well, I posted a picture on your wall,
yes.
and we chatted.
Yes.
Like in private messaging.
Yes.
So I wrote a message to Priska that I saw her again, and it was actually the first time we talked about it, but it was the second time it happened already. And then she said, well, that she experienced exactly the same.
So crazy. When you told me that.
Yeah.
It was so crazy for me.
Yeah. And that was, it really shook me off my socks. I don't know even if this is an expression, but I guess people know what I mean.
Switzerland, we say the same.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because I never experienced this. I have done energetic stuff. I studied 2 years on the school of shamanism, and I did healing work and shit. But this, I never felt this kind of connection with someone that isn't physically here, actually. Not even with a person that has been physically around me. So this was very... I was actually scared as well, I have to tell you, because like the first time I met her, and then the second time I really felt deep inside that this was a big thing, that this would be a big thing in whatever kind of form or way. So that scared me because I already felt sub- unconsciously, subconsciously that this was going to change things. Um, and normally I would have just shut down and maybe even break up the contact because I was scared shitless. But with this, I thought, no, this, I think this will bring me so much, and I don't know in what kind of way. But if already then I knew that if I would shut it down, I would always be like regretting it or thinking, but oh, what if, what should have, and yeah.
Mm. Yes, I was very scared as well, and because mostly out of the fact because he was married, of course. Because I had these feelings that I felt in these meditations, and all of a sudden I just realized how much love I felt in general for you, and I just played it down massively in against him with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, I hope so. I just didn't admit how much what I felt in fact for him, and but I just realized that I had to talk about it also with friends, and well, that was after you decided actually to come to Switzerland the first time, because you decided quite swiftly that you wanted to find out, that you needed to find out.
Yeah, that was because I was really so confused and I couldn't focus anymore, and I talked about it to my wife because I always have been very open to her about everything I feel, and I told her this as well. Um,
Yes, and I was in contact with her as well, even before everything started with us. Um, and because I felt so guilty, or this was the worst thing, these feelings of guilt. And then you said, yeah, but she knows, and you also said you can also write to her, and she was so very understanding. But I always had the feeling of she doesn't get it, what I mean.
Yeah, but it was very strange because at that point, to me, it still was not. I was not feeling that it would be something romantically or even or sexually, or I really thought it would be that you would be my twin soul sister.
Okay, but perhaps I have read too much about, because I have been reading too much about twin flames and dual souls and blah 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 blah, and whatever, this is another topic. But it's not that I'm not so fond of this whole Schubladisierung. What's the word? Putting into boxes and like putting in a drawer and just like etiketting. Yes, this is this and this is that, and because it's that you have to. Because out of many reasons I don't like it anymore. But I have been reading a lot, so yes. But it had nothing to do with what I felt for you, because I felt actually already romantic feelings.
Well, with me it started later because we were chatting a lot, private messaging, and my feelings became bigger and bigger. And if I have to be very, very honest, already before the first time I came to Switzerland, I felt that it might be romantic as well, but that was not my goal because I still had the feeling that I was in a good relationship. But I talked about this everything with my wife, and actually she said, "Well, you are so confused, and I think you should look into this." So she actually suggested, "Well, maybe you should go to Bern, to Switzerland one day and just find out what it is." Um, so I suggested this to Priska, and the first time she said, "No."
I was so scared. I just wanted to let it be on the soul level. It's totally okay and safe, you being there in your Dutchy land and I'm in Bern, and just having nice chats. It would be so nice. So yes,
nice and safe.
very nice and very safe. And But of course, as I told you, yeah, I didn't admit it. Is that the word to myself that I had these romantic feelings for you already? Because yes, I think at one point your ex-wife even asked me, "Are you in love with him?" And I told her, "I don't know." Because I really don't know. How can I love someone? It was so ridiculous for me. Like, how can I be in love with someone I never met?
Yes.
It cannot be. It cannot be. But I felt the love. Well, it was very strange. And yeah, so I was very scared that he would come. And then I told it also my friends. And they were actually reacting like, "You are fucking bonkers, woman. You're crazy.
You are wrecking up a marriage."
Yeah, you are fucking up a marriage and you're playing with a marriage just because of like some fluffy, flushy, chatty with this Dutch lad here. And first he has to end his marriage and then you can go on from there. And you're, because actually, yeah, they...
Which is actually a very wise remark.
Yes, it is. But whatever.
Yeah.
Because as you said, you weren't unhappy. You just didn't know what else is possible, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. It's so hard to put into there as well, to put etiquettes on it.
Well, if I go back in retrospective, then we discussed this as well. Even if Priska would not be around, we have been discussing this, and I hope I convinced you now, because you didn't believe it in the first, that if Priska would not be around, that I would be divorced as well, but it would take longer, because I was happy and I was not happy. It was not fulfilling me in the deep desires that I felt. So I didn't feel met. And of course, there are like people that say, but you have to get everything in yourself. You don't need someone else. And up to some level, I really believe that you have to get everything from yourself. But sometimes
I actually don't believe that.
Okay, but it's another topic.
Yes.
So Priska said no, and we talked blah blah blah, and then we decided I could come to Bern, and this was in October 2015.
It was actually a year ago.
It was a year ago, yeah. So I went, and I was fucking nervous.
Me not. I was totally
actually
relaxed.
The day before, I went to someone who, for the study, had to dye hair.
True.
And I'm a bit reddish, but she thought I'm like extremely red, so she dyed my hair and my beard, and I looked like Pipo the Clown. So I was a bit embarrassed as well. And I had this leather jacket. I bought it secondhand, and the armpits were smelling like old sweat, so I washed it with vinegar, but the vinegar didn't come out, so I looked like Pipo the Clown smelling like a bottle of vinegar. But, okay.
So cute. When he was texting me all the way, I was sitting in the train already on my way to the airport, and he was waiting still in the airport in Amsterdam. And he was texting me, and then I felt quite cool back then, actually, because I was like, because you were so nervous, I felt like I don't have to be nervous anymore.
Yeah. So I went in the plane, and then I got out and I texted Priska, okay, I'm here. Where are you? Because I was out of the how do you say that?
The douane.
The douane, and she wasn't there. And she said, "What? Where
are you?"
Impossible." And then it seemed to be that she was in the German part, and I was in the Swiss part, because you have 3 parts there. And then she came running in slow motion with hair flipping around through the hall, and she just ran across me. She just passed me. And I really had to laugh so hard, because I thought, I stand here like a bottle of vinegar, looking like Pipo the Clown, and she's running past me. This is not the romantic vision I had. And then she heard me laughing, and without even looking at me, she threw herself in my arms. I could be a total stranger to her, but
I just knew.
Yeah.
Because I think I was almost like on your... Did I have to come back even? I don't know. I was just not seeing you. Because I just remember that I turned around and it just jumped at you. And I just was laying there and crying in your arms for 14 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know, 10. I have no idea. And all of a sudden, I don't even know how you look like. And then he was very good, so like, yeah, you can. You can have a look. And then I looked. And I saw Peepo the Clown. No, I didn't even, because I had no comparison, so for me it wasn't that bad at all, actually. Now when I look back on pictures, I know what you mean, but I really didn't think of it as bad, or even the vinegar, I wasn't smelling anything.
Yeah. But his first touch was very touching. Yeah, because when we were standing there hugging, I actually immediately felt, whoa, this is not only a soul level, soul twin flame sister thingy. It was not that I already felt this is going to be my woman, but I really felt this. It was trouble, actually.
This is trouble.
Trouble in it. Yeah,
trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, actually. Because one part of me hoped that it wouldn't turn out as a romantic thing. Because I was so afraid, that you could have feelings for me, and at the same time I was so afraid that you couldn't. Because it felt so home. I felt so safe with you.
Yes.
In the writing and also in your hug, how you were holding me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember already when we were leaving the airport, you were grabbing my hand, and it felt so naturally. It felt so, I don't know. Yes.
Yeah. For me, was the strange but also beautiful part was that I felt so much love that it almost took over, and it just like that. But also because I'm not like the typical macho man. I'm actually quite feminine. I have much feminine features for a guy. And Priska, in my opinion, is not like a real uchi feminine, I want to say, woman. She has lots of masculine features as well. But when we are together, I feel such a man. And it's not that I like suppressing my female things, but because everything can be there. So this combination about being the man, her being my woman, although I didn't dare to say it at that point, and all this love. I even had bilder, pictures when we were hugging. We are still hugging on the airport. It's going to be a very long video, this.
I hope my computer has enough space.
Yeah. Yeah. So that. So I stayed there for 4 days, I think.
Yes, and I was in the middle of a theater play, actually, called Real Life. Me playing a married woman meeting a much younger man online. Falling in love with him. Really, you have to take care what kind of parts you choose in a theater play. And he was sitting at the premiere, at the opening night of this real life theater play in the first row. Yes. And it almost stroked me, like, I don't know. And when I opened up for everybody who I really was, and that I was married, and you were really sitting, it was a very small theater, and I was really standing in front of him, and I felt, oh my god, this is not happening, this is so surreal, seriously. So I was actually very occupied the whole days he was here, and I felt like so all the time, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And you felt like a Zen monk for me, because whenever I was coming home, and this was also great, I told him I cannot sleep at my place, and we also had the agreement that we could. Let's just try it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hope dies last, right?
So yeah.
We're back. We have a little space problem here on my laptop, but we tried to just delete stuff, and now we're back.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So let's continue. I was there for 4 days, and when then I had to go back to Amsterdam, and at that point I already knew, okay, um, I have to go and tell my wife that we cannot be together anymore, and I really cannot argumentate why I was so clear. But
Because I didn't know.
No, you didn't
I
know at
didn't
that
know.
point,
No.
but I felt it so strong that, like, I, I cannot even put it in words. I'm still not. But it was so clear then that I had to go home, and this was the end of my marriage. Um, even, and that's the strangest part actually, even if it wouldn't work out with Priska. So for me, of course, it has everything to do with what we felt for each other. But on the other hand, it also had nothing to do with it because I knew that even if it wouldn't work out with Priska, this would be the end of my marriage. And that's all I can say about it because I cannot say very wise, intelligent things about it actually. But
Yes.
it was my feeling, and I'm always a feelings driven guy. So this was very clear to me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember very well we had, I think even before, actually right before this opening night, I was coming up to your place because I don't know if I was telling that in the end, because it happened that my neighbor was traveling, and so she was renting out her room, her apartment, for Airbnb, and exactly in this week it was free, so he could stay there, and it was amazing. So we have both our space, and yes, I went up to him and told him, yes, I'm about to go or to leave, and I was all maked up already. And then we had this conversation when you told me that you will go home and that you will make your decision, and that you're not knowing yet. I don't know. You said that you were going to make your decision, and that you were going to decision without knowing if what I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And this helped me big times because I felt so. It's so stupid. I felt responsible for his marriage, as I could have saved his marriage with my yes or no, and it's illusional actually. It's totally stupid. I see that now, but back then I felt somehow like responsible for it, and I thought like when I repel him and say no, this is not working, I could somehow save his marriage. And yeah, when you told me that you're going to make your decision without my
Input.
Yeah, exactly. This helped me big times.
Yeah, for me it was very important to that for myself, but also for Priska, the decision I made was my decision, and that I wouldn't be influenced by what she wanted, because it might be that she decided, no, I don't want anything to do with this guy. Um, so it had to be my decision, and it was very clear that this is what I wanted to do. So I went home, and my wife asked, well, how has it been? And I was very scared to just say it, but on the other hand, I never have felt so clear about my truth till that point that I had to tell her. Um, so I did. And then when that's when everything kick-started, actually. Um, and I'm not going to go into that whole story of the divorce and everything, but because that to me is not important for our story. The only thing I want to say is that it was my decision, and I wanted to do it like this, and I felt that this was my opportunity to go and stand in my truth, and it would make me grow so much, and it would make me feel so big, and it would bring me and nurture me in so many ways. Um, because I have lost friends because of this decision. I have gotten so much criticism. People said that I was in my midlife crisis and that I just wanted a young, hot babe to have fun with. And actually, I can understand all these thoughts and feelings of other people, but they did well. I just wanted to say they did not touch me, but at some point they did, of course, because I don't want that people see me as a 44-year-old guy that goes for the 33-year-old just to have some nice sex or something, because I'm not that guy. And people who know me know that I'm not this guy, but even people that know me, well,
they were just looking for some kind of explanation, probably, why you changed so much all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yes. Because it went very fast. Everything went very fast.
Yes, extremely fast. But I think we have been talking a lot in these times about the truth and what was our truth. For me, my moment of truth was burning through this guilt in first hand of letting him even come to Switzerland, because I knew if he would be there, yeah, something's going to change forever. I just knew that somehow. And I had breakdown after breakdown and after breakdown, and I had cried so much. And at one point, I just knew I have to follow my heart and stand in my truth. Really stand in my truth, because I mean that's what I tell my clients, that what I'm standing for. And I had to just burn through these beliefs of society, and you cannot go for a married man. And I didn't feel I put much emphasis over. I didn't pull him or push him, or I wanted him to decide everything on his own. I don't even know how to say that. I just knew for myself I didn't push and pull him, and so I knew I was just being there and following my heart, and my heart wanted to be with him and get to know him, and yes, later on also to move here, which I did.
So I think the main lesson for me, and I think I can speak for you as well, is that there will always be people with thoughts. There will always be people that have hurtful criticism, because Priska has been called a egocentric slut as well, and well, I just told what I have been called. But if you feel in your heart that this is what you need to do, that this is who you are, and this is what you need to bring into the world, not only in your own world, but also in the world of everybody surrounding you, then you just have to go for it. Because I tried to crawl back into this hole, but I knew if I do that, if I will stay with my wife, and if I will cut every contact with Priska, I will be such a hurt man for the rest of my life. And this sounds very melodramatic, but this is the truth. I had this conversation with a friend of mine, Stacy Schofield. She's from America, and she told me in this chat, why is it that people always hurt themselves rather than hurting others? And this stuck to me, because I always have been choosing for the feeling good of other people, not mine. I always erased myself, and now I really had the urge to just go for what I wanted and what was good for me.
and to stand in the judgment of others. Because actually, because I have the same. Because he told me this quote of Stacy, and it it changed everything. Because I realized something as well, that I always wanted to everybody else to be happy in first place, but I just did it because I wanted to be loved by them. Actually, it's actually also egoistic, yeah. Right? Yeah. And I just had to stand in this fire that people were calling me a slut, were calling me like you're just egocentric and just listen to yourself and you're destroying a whole family and you're making a woman unhappy and two kids unhappy and it's your fault. And I had to hear that quite some times, and especially from women who were hurt themselves. And yes, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about just just letting them talk, and it's okay that they have these kind of feelings and thoughts about me. But I just have to know what my truth is and why I'm doing stuff and why I'm going for what I was going for. And this, if you have a truth in your heart, really just follow it. Because I know as well when I would have ignored this, I would have lied to everybody and especially to myself, just to keep the peace somehow. And this is not what life is about, to just keep the peace. Because there's no peace in yourself, there won't be peace if you're not following your truth ever. And for nobody else actually involved, because if you would have stayed with your ex-wife, she would also have felt that you wouldn't be present in that marriage anymore. Yes, and
that's true.
Yeah. So this was our lesson, I think, to really just, I called it like I mastered the ability of, or the, how do you say that? The art of not giving a fuck. Because, that's what I did.
And for me it was that I learned to fight with the sword of truth. And yes. This is, it really has changed my life epically. And it only has been like a year now, a bit longer. But I made so many steps, so many huge steps. And I still am sad sometimes. And I still feel troubled. But I can carry that because I know that this is just the good thing.
Yes.
It's already bringing me so much and it will bring me so much more. I really feel that in my heart.
It's just real, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what strength is in it. Yeah. Because following your truth doesn't mean it's easy. It's fucking not easy.
Most of the times it's not easy, actually.
No, actually it's mostly, in the beginning it's actually choosing for the very hard path. Also for me, moving here and managing everything on my own in a country I don't know, in a language I don't speak, and that was the first month. I never ever regretted it one single time because I just knew why I was doing it. Because I just was very clear that I wanted to be near to him and to give this relationship a chance, but also to do it for myself, as he said. Really, just it changed my life also, like in so many ways, and just following my heart and to find out who I really am and how strong I actually am, because you can only find out how strong you truly are when you're being challenged, right? And then all of a sudden, oh well, I just did it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Yeah. And so we're still learning and growing, and we also have to find each other now as a couple. And because we never had until now some kind of a everyday life, because I was living in a whole different village. Do you say that? Yes, village than he lives. Still, I'm still living there. Yes, right. I'm just visiting, because his wife found now a place to stay on her own, and the children are once a week with her and a week with him. And when the kids are not here, even if I met them, but we want to give them as much time as they need to
get adjusted
to the new situation.
So this is our shared story about standing in your own truth. What kind of impact it made on us. So we want to do like a series of videos about how we experience the world around us and how we view at things. I don't know how we will organize it because this is quite new for us as well. I don't know if we will speak about topics or if we just improvise. I think she wants topics.
I'm a topic lady.
She's a topic lady.
Yeah, but I have a topic and then I speak about something totally different. That's my my specialty. Yes.
So I hope you you like this, and
yeah, please share if you feel like this is speaking to yourself, or let us know what you think about it, or share your story about when you were standing in your truth. We're very happy to hear from you. What you see, feel, think, what you experienced.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think we can grow with stories from other people. They're very inspiring. I've learned so much from other people.
So if you want to share a comment publicly, you can do it
down below.
And I think that we will put our private emails down below as well. So if you want to ask stuff,
just reach out to
me. You can, or to Priska.
Yes, exactly.
So.
And if you want to get these videos regularly, then just click on subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and yes, and you will have our videos regularly. It's the word. Regularly in your not in your inbox, but in your newsfeed of YouTube. Yes. So this is it. We did it. Our first shared video. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for your time and see you hopefully soon.
Okay.
Bye.